Hi guys, we are back on another beautiful day in Vermont for Seedsheet Live because it is Thursday and it is noon. So today we're going to talk a little bit about a delicious appetizer, an ooey-gooey-cheesy herby appetizer dip. This is perfect for entertaining or if you're just chilling on the couch with your dog watching some TV. So I've got our beautiful herb garden right here. This has some amazing stuff growing right now. We've got a really nice basil plant going, some parsley, these really beautiful scallions that are coming up, and a brand new dill variety that I'm super excited about. This is just blowing up right now. So I'm going to use a little bit of that today as well. So down here we have 3 different types of cheeses. We've got 8 ounces of soft goat cheese, fresh from Vermont. We've got a cup of ricotta. I like the whole milk variety because I just love that little extra bit of fat. But you could use part skim ricotta if you'd like as well. And then I've got a cup of crumbled feta cheese too. I have some delicious French bread that our amazing in-house baker Leslie made for us. And then I sliced it, put a little olive oil on it, a little bit of salt, and baked it and made some crostini out of that. Also going in here, I've got 2 big, beautiful cloves of garlic. I used a green cayenne pepper from our hot sauce sheet, chopped that up as well. So a teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of olive oil here. I'm going to mix some of our delicious Sungold Cherry Tomatoes into this as well. You can use any tomato variety that you've got. We've got had a lot of rain here recently, so we are trying to use up as many of the tomatoes as we can before they start to split. And then I've got some yummy basil that I just picked off of my herb plant, and a little bit of squeeze of lemon here as well. So I'm going to just start mixing. I like all of these cheeses at room temperature so that they are easy to mix together. My ricotta in, my feta, and as usual guys, if you have any gardening questions whatsoever, or if you have questions about how to use an herb or any other vegetable in your garden, I can answer those questions too. Traditional gardening questions as well as seed sheet questions are welcome. I'm gonna throw my garlic in here, my salt, and my cayenne pepper. If you don't want it spicy, you don't have to add that, but I love it. It's a little kick. My olive oil. All right, so I'm gonna mix this up first, and then I'm gonna add some basil in here too. And then I'm gonna mix in a few whole cherry tomatoes, and then put a few on top as well for a little decoration. And they just bake up really nicely. Mix that up really well. Make sure the olive oil is incorporated. And you want to grab a baking dish that can get up to 400 degrees. We're going to bake it at 350 for about a half an hour, or at least until it starts to bubble and get brown on top. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna chop up some of my basil and some of my tomatoes. So we've got these beautiful big leaves of basil that I'm just gonna slice. Perfect. All of these are gonna go right in. I'm gonna mix this up. We don't want to bruise these leaves too much, so we're just gonna do a quick mix in. And then I'm gonna toss in some of my smaller tomatoes here. And then I'm gonna cut a few in half to place right on top. And again, I'm just gonna fold these in really gently so that they don't explode. Just a word of warning, when this comes out of the oven, the tomatoes are gonna be very hot, so just be careful with that. You wanna let it cool for about 10 minutes after you pull it out of the oven and before you serve. I also really love this dip with some apple slices, so we've cut up some apple slices as well. All right, so I've got my baking dish here. Just gonna give it a little shot of cooking spray, some olive oil spray. Make sure you get all the corners. And then I'm just gonna dump this all right into our pan. And again, being gentle so you don't pop those cherry tomatoes. They are super sweet and they're gonna offset the cheese and the cayenne pepper really nicely. Just gonna push it down into my baking dish. Beautiful. Then I'm gonna slice some of these guys and push them right into the top. Great, and I'm gonna give a little squeeze of lemon right over the top as well. Perfect. And then just place my cherry tomatoes in however you want. So again, if you are getting a lot of splits in your tomatoes, they're probably getting too much water and they just need to be harvested sooner as well. All right, so that's how it should look when it goes into the oven. You don't need to cover it. So that will go right into the oven for 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes. You just want it to be lightly browned on top. So I can tell you that I baked one this morning and this is exactly what it should look like. So I'm gonna add a little bit more herb on top of this because I just like a little bit of fresh herb on top. So you can really pick whatever herb you want. You could put more fresh basil, you could put parsley, you could put dill on top. I think I'm gonna use a little bit of scallion today. So I'm just gonna grab some of the biggest guys that are in here, give them a little snip, fold it up. Give a little sprinkle on top. And that looks fantastic. We can use our crostini or we can use an apple slice, whatever you want to do, but this looks so amazing. Oh my God, I cannot wait. Yep, that's delicious. Okay, so again, if you guys have any questions about gardening or herbs or vegetables, I am here to help. So you can always direct message us, you can comment on any of our videos, you can send us an email at info@seedsheets.com if you have any questions. And as usual, we love to see your photos. So if you've got a seed sheet growing or if you've got a beautiful garden at home of any variety, send us a photo, we'd love to see it. Or post it on our Facebook page or tag us on Instagram, any of the above. So Nick, do we have any questions from this week that we've gotten?
Yeah, so as the season for growing is kind of slowly dwindling down for most people, people are wondering what types of plants they could still plant now and that are quick enough to produce something before the end of the season.
Okay, that's a really great question. Our season is definitely going towards the wayside here in Vermont, definitely in New England as well. So if you're looking for something fast growing, I would definitely go with greens. You may even be able to get a bean or two out of your garden as well. But I think your best bet is with greens. Our taco sheet and our salad sheet are definitely two of the fastest growing. So if you have a seed sheet at home and want to grow a new one, a salad sheet is definitely your best bet. You could do mustard greens, arugula, kale, spinach. All of those varieties will grow really rapidly towards the end of the year as well. All right, any more questions?
Also, as we are kind of dwindling down here, people are wondering, they have a bunch of herbs, but they don't want their plants to die in the cold. How can they, use those herbs without, putting them in the fridge and letting them wilt?
Great question as well. You can harvest your entire garden. You can chop up your basil or your parsley or whatever you've got and clean it, lay it flat on a baking sheet, and you can actually freeze some of your herbs that way. You could also make a compote butter or make an oil using any of those herbs. So if you have any questions about that, we actually have a really great blog post on our website. So check us out, seedsheets.com, and go right up at the top. There's a link for our blog. We've got lots of tutorials and videos on there and some really great videos and recipes on what to do with a bunch of your leftover herbs. Awesome question. So again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, hit us up in any form of communication. We answer everything. So have a great weekend, guys.